Okay, so we are now going to get into our main lesson today, and our main topic today is area of a trapezoid. So far, we have done area of a parallelogram, which was multiply the base times the height. We've done area of a triangle, which is multiply the base times the height, but then divide that by 2. And then today we're going to move on to a new shape called trapezoids, and we're going to find the area of a trapezoid. So, let's talk about first what a trapezoid is. So a trapezoid could look like many different things, but here's the main parts of this. There are one set of parallel lines. So there has to be at least one set of parallel lines. So this and this line are parallel. So this is a trapezoid. This line and this line are parallel. That's a trapezoid. Here's another example. If I have this is also a trapezoid. This line and this line are parallel. They would go forever and not touch. Let's look at another one. Also a trapezoid. This line are parallel. So today we're going to learn how to find the area of this shape. So let's first start off with a basic one that looks like this. Okay, so if I have a shape that looks like this, and let's say this is 10, let's say this is 8 inches, let's say this is 9 inches on the sides here, and I know that my height here is, let's say, 7. So, for me to be able to find the area of this, I can do this 2 different ways. The first is to break this up into 3 shapes. So I could break this up into this triangle. So I'm going to call this triangle A. I can break this up into this triangle, triangle B, and I have my rectangle here. So one more time, I have a trapezoid here. For me to figure out the area or the amount of space that this shape takes up, I could break this up into 3 shapes. I have a triangle here, I have a rectangle here, I have a triangle here. So let's first try to find the 3 areas and add those together. So for my triangle here, I know that this whole thing is 10. From here to here and from here to here must be 8, because these are equivalent, they're a rectangle, which means this over here must be 1 and this over here must be 1. So if I want to find the area of this triangle here, I'd multiply my base, which is 1, times my height here, which is 7. So this is 7 times 1. And then I would divide it by 2 because it's a triangle. And I'd be left with 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5. So that is the area of this triangle. Over on this side, I know I don't want to use this diagonal. I want to use my base, which is 1, my height, which is 7, divided by 2. I get 7 over 2, which is the same thing, it's 3.5. So far I have this and this covered, 3.5 and 3.5. So far, my 2 triangles make an area of 7. The last step, which I didn't do, is how do I find the area of this rectangle, which we know is just base. Nope, not the 10. Base is just 8. It's not the 10 because the 10 is the entire thing. The base, which is this or this, is just 8. So I'm going to do 8 times my height, which is not 7, that's a diagonal. My height is 7. So it's not 9, it's 7. So I'm going to do 8 times 7, which is 56. So we have 8 times 7, which is 56. So then what I'm left with is the 56 plus the 3.5 plus the 3.5, and I'm going to add those together. 3.5 and 3.5, that's 7. Then I'm going to add my 56, which when we add that in is 63 units squared, is my answer for that. So that's one way to do this. Another way to do this is using the trapezoid formula, which is a new formula for us to look at today. And the area of a trapezoid formula should get us the same answer. And the area of a trapezoid formula is this. Add the bases first. So add the two different bases first. Then multiply by the height, and then divide by 2. And this is the area of a trapezoid formula. So add the bases times the height, then divide by 2. So let's look at our shape again. When I look, I have a big base up there of 10, and I have a base here of 18. So I'm going to plug that in. 10 plus the 8. Then I'm going to multiply that by the height, which is, again, not 9. That's the diagonal. I'm going to use 7, which is the straight up and down line. So I'm going to times by 7 and divide by 2. Now, I should get the same answer, so let's try it. So I have 18 times 7. Let's put that here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 126. Then I divide by 2, and I get 63. And if you look, I get 63 this way, and I get 63 this way. So let's recap that one more time. I started with this shape, which is a trapezoid. A trapezoid has two parallel lines. The 10 and the 8 were my bases, and my 7 was my height. If I want to find the area of the shape, I can do this two ways. The first way is what I did, was that I just broke this up into 3 different shapes, and I added them together. So I found the area of this triangle, which I did base times height, divided by 2. On this side, I did base times height, which was 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. And in the middle, I did 8 times 7, which is 56. And because it's area, I want to add the area of this triangle, I want to add the area of this rectangle, and I want the area of this triangle. And when you add those together, I get 63. That's one way to do this. The second way to do this here is to use the formula, add the bases times the height, divide by 2. Most students find this formula much easier than the other way. I don't care which way you choose. So for this one, I'm going to add the bases. This base here was 10. This base here was 8. So I add those together and I get 18. That's right here. Then I times the height, which is right here, which is 7. So I did 10 plus 8, add the bases, times the height, which is 7. That's 126. Then I divide by 2, and I get 63 as my answer. Either one gets me the same answer.